Stop living paycheck to paycheck. I was looking at some statistics here, and this is just from a quick Google search. This came from bankrate.com, and it's saying that up to 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And I don't know exactly how they're defining paycheck to paycheck, but I imagine that the way that they define living paycheck to paycheck is people that if they were to miss one or two paychecks, they'd be in big, bad trouble. And of course, that's dealing with people that are working. You know, if only, what is it? I want to say 10% of people are making over $100,000 a year or $150,000 a year, then that means that 90% of people are making less than that. And so there's a percentage of those people in there that are living paycheck to paycheck because they are living above their means. But there's also a percentage of people in there that are not living paycheck to paycheck necessarily because they're on welfare or something like that. So it's interesting to think about. But here's what I want to say. Stop doing it. Why would you do that? What you need to do is you need to create for yourself some form of residual recurring revenue that comes in whether you go to work or not. One of the big things that you always hear from people is stop trading your time for money. But what does that even mean pragmatically? Well, let's break it down. If you have a job where you go and you clock in and clock out, it's an easy connection to say, hey, I'm trading my time for my money. Well, what that really means is that when you go and you buy something, you're literally giving a piece of your life away in order to get that thing. You're trading your life for that thing. Well, even if you're on a salary and you work a job, but you have to be there, let's call it Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or whatever your full-time hours are, you're still trading your time for money. Now, I'm not an extremist on this concept to where like anything you do is technically trading your time for money, but I do want to help you understand that there are things that you can do that when you do them, you create something that's an asset for you, or you acquire something that's an asset for you that can continue to pay you dividends moving forward. And there's many examples of this, but let's just use in my case, I own a business called Champion Payments, and we do merchant services for small to medium-sized businesses. For me in my portfolio, when I started out, I really liked selling to restaurants. So about 60% of my customers are restaurants. And so in this example, when I go and acquire a new customer, this new customer, their account is an asset for me because they are going to be doing that payment processing with somebody, right? You're going when you go to a restaurant, most people are paying with some electronic form of payment, credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, whatever. And so they're going to pay somebody for that processing. It might as well be me. And so I'm going to acquire that account through whatever means, sales process, some other referral partnership that I have, a software relationship, whatever it is. So I acquire this asset, and now that I have it, it pays me every single month as long as that business stays open and keeps processing payments. And you know as well as I do that these places are, clearly staying, open and processing payments from the long term. I have clients that I've had for a decade. And so what that does is I get this asset, it continues to pay me. I'm no longer having to reacquire this. Now, it doesn't mean that there's no maintenance at all, right? Nothing in life is truly passive in the finite extreme sense, but maybe they need to change their bank account, or they need me to look up something for them or help them with something. In general, it's a passive asset, right? It's something to where I set it up and, maybe once a year they call me, maybe once every other year, they're calling me and asking me for something. And some are more, maintenance than others. But I put that over here in like my little bucket, we'll call it my portfolio. And I go and I get another one and I add it on top of that. And I go and I get another one and I add it on top of that. And I go and I get another one and I add it on top of that. What this does is I've created now a way that for free, okay, I did not pay money to acquire these accounts. It's not like real estate where I went and I bought it. I didn't buy this asset. I went and I used my God-given abilities to open my mouth and say, hey, you're already using this company. Why don't you just use me instead? I built a relationship with them. They started using us instead of whoever else it was that they were using, whether it's a new place or an existing, establishment. And now I have these accounts over here in this bucket. And so let's say each one of them pays me a couple $100 a month, call it $200 to $500 a month. And every month now I'm getting paid while they process. And so the next month I get paid again, and the next month I get paid again from that processing volume. I've now created for myself an asset that continues to pay me, and I didn't have to pay for it, right? With money. Because this is the problem. Most people that are living paycheck to paycheck or are working in a job, they would have assets that pay them residual income, like stocks that pay dividends or real estate that, pays them, monthly for rent or whatever, if they had the capital to put in it. But they don't have the capital equity, right? All we have is the sweat equity. So for those of us that had to start out, we didn't have, parents or grandparents or uncles or whatever that were rich and just gave us seed money to go out there into the marketplace and start building ourselves a portfolio of residual assets in the traditional sense. We can get creative and create residual assets for ourselves in the sweat equity sense. And guess what? After I've built up a portfolio, right, depending on how my relationship is with the processing organizations, I can now take my right to receive that residual and I can sell it to somebody else for a multiple of what I was getting in case I needed the cash to buy a house or something like that. And so here's what's cool. At Champion Payments, we have a referral partnership program that you can use to your benefit. You can leverage us. We're already doing the credit card processing. We're already processing the payments. We have people here that can make the bank account changes or can do the integration work to make sure that they have the correct connection to whatever software they're using or whatever credit card machine they're using and whatever type of business it is. And we service all different industries and different types of businesses. And what that does is now we become an asset to you that you can use. You refer business to us. We then take that business and now we're able to make money because we make money from the processing. We give you a portion of it, and you didn't have to go out and spend a bunch of money starting a processing organization and build a whole set of servers, or anything like that, or pay, people to program software for you. I mean, I'm trying to think of better opportunities, and maybe there are better opportunities out there, but I'll tell you what. The opportunity that I'm laying before you right now is one to help you change your life. Stop going paycheck to paycheck. Stop continuing to do what you're doing, to do what your parents did, to do what their parents did before them, and make a change now. Draw a line in the sand and say that this generation is not going to be like the last generation. I am not going to be like 63% of the other Americans. I'm going to be like the other 37%. I want to be part of the 10% or the 5% or the top 1% of income earners in this country. And I'll continue doing what I need to do today to trade my time for money so I can pay my current bills. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to start acquiring assets that are going to pay me, not from having to pay money for them necessarily, but for going and just talking to businesses in my local area, or maybe not even in my local area, anywhere in the United States. So I don't know, I hope this blesses you. I know that I've been very blessed by the payment processing industry. It's just absolutely changed my life. I've been doing this for about 12 years. And all I can say is that if I didn't personally live this life and have an awesome lifestyle for me and my family because of this industry, I probably wouldn't believe it either. But take the chance. There's a link in the description. You can go to residualchampions.com. We will help you start learning the ropes to setting yourself up with an asset that provides you with residual income so you can stop trading your time for money and living paycheck to paycheck. Be blessed by the best. See you guys on the next one.